Okay, let's continue the process of populating this with data. Let's go back to this portion right here. And lucky for us, we already created a DAO that handles the data. And that's the reason we create the DAO, so this area here won't be crowded. Let's delete that, and let's type in restaurant DAO. Rest is equal to new, in fact, let me call this DAO is equal to new restaurant DAO. This will return us a list of restaurants. Sorry, this needs to be imported first. Let me finish this first. List of restaurants. I'll call this list new array list. Remember, when I'm doing control space, what it's doing in the background is actually importing the stuff that I need here. If it doesn't do that, you'll have to manually import it. Let's do a save. And if I go up here, you'll see that it imported the DAO and the list. I just realized I don't need this line. I can just say here, DAO find all. So remember, in our DAO, we return all the data. All that data is here now, and our goal, of course, is to put it in the view. Just to test that it's here, let's do a list. Do a list, and I can do for each. And again, this is a shortcut specific to Java 8. Well, this will allow me to print all the lines. Let's do a save. Let's run. I'm sorry, no, I can't run it from here. I have to run it from main. Let's run Java application. Okay, we're going to click on the search, where it'll execute the DAO. And we see the data here. And of course, the whole idea is to get the data right here. But we see that at least it's working. Now it's to populate the data. So let's go back to our controller. And we need to set up a couple of things here. One of the things that we're going to need is something called an observable list. So let's type that. Observable. Okay, good. Let me see, I'm looking for this. There it goes. Make sure it's the one from Java FX. And this is going to handle the restaurant data. And we're going to say here, FX collections, excuse me, observable array list. And this is going to take in a list, which is this item right here. Let's save it. And then the next thing we do is we go after the table view, which is this right here. It's called TBL restaurant. I'm going to say here, set items. And we're going to set it up to the data. Oops, spelled this wrong. Spelled items. Okay, so let's follow this code. What's happening here is we instantiate the data access object. We find all the data. We use this list just to print it out, but we're going to get rid of that because we don't want to keep printing it out for now. We use this observable list, okay, which makes it get ready for the table view. So that's why we do all of this, because the table view is expecting this format, this data type. Let's save it. I don't think this will work, but I hope just nothing breaks right now. So I think there's one more step to do before this is done. Let's do a Java application, do a search. Okay, it looks like it looks like it tried to populate it with data, but there is no data. So the problem is that you're having right now, it doesn't know how to map the model to the specific columns. So that's the problem that you have here. So if you notice in this code, how does it know to map the class model, which is called restaurant, to this field or this field. So in fact, if I can go back to, let me show you restaurant here. These are all the fields. How does it know to map this ID to that ID? This name to this name. And let me see here. Last grade to this column grade. Cuisine to here. It doesn't know how to do that. And we need to fix that to make that work. So that's what we'll do in the next video.